Hey guys, Maritime Marksman here. Today we're going to be taking a look at reloading for the 280 Ross. So of course, the most important piece of equipment here is these custom CH4D dies. Very difficult to come by, but if you happen to find yourself a set, then you're already halfway there. So I got the sizer already set up in my press here. And what we're going to be using is 300 Win Mag brass. This is all once fired. I either picked it up at the range or purchased it. Some nice quality Hornady stuff. So the vital part of the process here, because we're going to be changing this into this, as you can see, it's got quite a taper to it. We're going to have to use a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, sorry, an appropriate amount of lubricant. So by far the best that I've found in this application is Imperial Sizing Die Wax. As you can see, it says they're used very sparingly. As with most lubricants, if you get too much on there when it goes in the die, it's going to create dents, so we don't want to do that. But we also want to use as much as we can get away with, because this is going to be quite an operation squeezing this down. So just kind of smoothly apply it to our brass here. So for adjusting the sizing die, it's pretty much like any other sizing die. Just run it down until it makes contact with the shell holder, and then go for it another 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn. So let's see here if I can get a good angle on this. So the really important thing here is to just take it slow. So we'll go in a little bit, back it off a little bit further. Oh, sorry, it's hard to hold the camera steady here. Back it off a little bit more. You can feel the casing starting to take shape. And then once you get to about here, you'll find it gets quite difficult. So I'll take the casing out. As you can see, maybe you can't. So you can kind of see lines as it's pushing all of our lube down. So what I'll do at this point usually is give it a wipe off, because again, we don't want to have too much in there. It's just going to create dents in our case. So then I'll just give it another little very light coating of Imperial Die Sizing Wax. Head back to our press here. Okay, we're going to finish it off here. There we go, all the way up. And voila. So come back, clean off our brass. Now what I'll do is just give it a quick visual comparison to our factory 280 Ross, and just kind of make sure that the dimensions are are correct and that the shoulder's been pushed back far enough. One thing we will have to do is trim the neck down a little bit. I find they're generally about half a millimeter or so too long. So you can do that a number of different ways. If you've got a universal trimmer and a drill, that's probably the fastest way. Unfortunately, I don't have that. So we're going to be doing this the old-fashioned way with one of these guys. Essentially trim it down. I have my caliper here. It's set at 2.6055 inches based on this case here. So I'll spare you that because it's boring, and we'll skip to the next step. Okay, once we've got it trimmed, we'll check it here. Looks good. And you just deburr it and chamfer it like you would any other casing. Oh, looks nice. And of course it's been deprimed. We'll just clean out our primer pockets. I'll make sure I get the any lube that was in the case neck, so our powder's not going to stick, and we'll have good neck tension. Excellent. All right. Make sure all our lube's gone off the case. And we're ready to prime. Okay, I'm just using regular CCI large rifle primers. That takes me back to when they were $5.50 a sleeve. But anyway, if you're doing a bunch at a time, you might want to use a hand primer tool or something. But if I'm doing a really low volume like this, I usually just prime them on the press. So put your primer in there, case in there. There you go. Okay, now it's time to add our powder. For this, today I'm going to be using Ogden Trail Boss. If you're not familiar with it, essentially this was developed for cowboy loads. It says on it, developed exclusively for lead bullets. You can use it with pretty much anything. They have a load on their website. Essentially, it's an incredibly light recoil load that you can use in just about any cartridge. So what you do is fill the cartridge up, fill the case up right to the base of the bullet. Dump that, weigh it, measure it, and then use 80% of that, 70% of that. And that's your starting load. So I already measured it out. What we're going to be using is 15 grains of Trail Boss today. So we'll turn our scale on. Use our dipper. And as you can see, close there, it's a really bulky powder. It looks like a little donut. So it's very hard to double charge with it, which is always nice, especially if you're a newer reloader. We'll just pour it in. In there, please. There we go. Okay. So now for our most rare and valuable component. This is the other half of the secret. The first half is the dies. These are the bullets. So we've got woodlay bullets. For for the 275 H&H. And they are 0.287 inches diameter. And these are extremely hard to come by. They're out of Australia, and they're very hard to find in Canada. I finally found a few boxes. They're not cheap. They're about $2 a bullet. But these days, you know what? That's not really all that bad when you consider stuff like 303 British, what it's going for. I don't feel so bad. So these nice big 175 grain bullets. If you recall my last video, I tried some 7mm projectiles. Their diameter was 0.284 inches, so 0.003 smaller. And as you recall, they keyholed like crazy. So unfortunately, this is what I had to find. So hopefully they'll treat us a little bit better. Anyway, we got our case with our powder in it already. So take out our sizing die. Put in our seating die. And this one I already have set to the proper seating depth, just based on my factory round here. And that's something I'll play with later, seating depth, all that. But for now, we just want something that goes bang and makes holes in the target that are round and not sideways. So we'll put our bullet in there. It's quite a long boy, but anyway, get her in there. Kind of gotta put the see if I can get a better angle. Kind of gotta put the bullet up in and kind of guide it in here, and then push it home. And there you go. So let's compare that to our factory round. There we go. Not bad, not bad. So we're going to load up a few more of these and take them out. And fingers crossed, we'll actually hit what we're aiming for. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any tips, I'm still relatively new at this compared to probably a lot of you guys out there. So if you have any words of wisdom or advice to pass along, please let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot. Bye.